What's up, guys? This is Stevan Micic, and I'm here today with a 2025 NCAA Wrestling Championships predictions for this weekend. Upcoming, the National Championship for College Wrestling is coming this weekend to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where some amazing wrestling is going to happen. The biggest spectacle in the world in wrestling, I'm talking about the world, is at the NCAA Championships. So before we get into it, guys, and you hear my predictions, my thoughts on teams, any sleepers and dark horse, anything crazy that's going to happen, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn notification bells on. And also, guys, if you guys are interested in world-class strength and conditioning programs, if you're in high school, if you're in college trying to build up in the off-season and try to improve yourself in wrestling, in strength and conditioning, whatever it is, I got your guy, DL Training Systems. Dylan Lemery, my strength and conditioning coach. He works with many UFC professional fighters as well as wrestlers, Olympians, world champions, bare-knuckle boxers. The list goes on and on and on. And he could train you. Make sure, guys, I got the link in the description. DL Training Systems. To their Instagram, just hit them up. Tell them World Champ sent you. All right, so I actually just did a podcast with Bo Nickel and Anthony Gassar, the Nickel and Dimes podcast, where they had me on. With Mike Machiavello and David Carr. We were just discussing the NCAA brackets through and through. And we really talked over some amazing stuff. I'll also drop you the link to that if you guys want to watch that podcast here in the description. Overall, guys, there's a lot of really cool things that can happen this weekend, all right? This is the last NCAA tournament that's going to be after the COVID era, okay? No more, after this year, I believe, no more COVID. 6 years are going to happen, all right? Anything after this is going to be just a fifth year. For a transfer for that, red shirt, graduate, wrestle 3 years and 4 years of eligibility. We'll continue. We're done with the 5 years on the clock type thing. That's done. This is a lot of seniors are trying to make their last impact at this tournament. Also, guys, this is a year where there's many, compared to how it's been the last, 5 to 10 years with a lot of weight classes that are deep. There's, or had maybe one or two guys that were kind of the locks to win it. There's some weight classes that are up in the air that I don't even know what to predict. So I guess for today's video, I want to talk over, going over some of the deepest weight classes and matchups to watch, all right? We're gonna go over some dark horses, some crazy people that could maybe stir up the pot. My favorite weight classes, and then we'll talk over the team race and how we think the teams are going to finish. We've got Carter Strachey going for his 5th NCAA title. He's the guy that won it his first year. And I think that he didn't come into college as the #1 recruit in the country. He was like 2, 3, 4. He still was top 5. But nobody expected him on that whole Penn State roster, or even the guys that have came before him at Penn State, that he would be the guy that would be going for 4. And on top of that, having the chance to break history and become a 5-time NCAA champ. It's never going to happen again, and he's going to be the guy to do it. He's got Parker Kekheisen in his weight class. Gabe Darnold's there, and there's there's some other guys that can do it. But I think overall, up and down, for how good positionally Carter is, holding the center, holding good wrestling, can counterattack, score when he needs. He's a veteran and knows what to do. I think he's probably going to win his 5th NCAA title, and he's calm, he's composed, he knows how to win, he's a gamer. I don't think the pressure is going to get to him or anything, and he lives up to the expectation, he lives up to the hype of what he says. The other thing we've got Gable Stevenson, Olympic champion at heavyweight, looking completely dominant this season. At heavyweight, going for his 3rd title. He's an Olympic champion in 2020. Came back to wrestle this year after a year and a half off, trying to go to the WWE, try to go into football. And I think overall, Gable is pretty untouchable. I think athletes put something. The only guy to beat him, I think, could be the Rizzler. That's about it, because I don't see anybody else really standing to holding a candle to him. The game plan for him has been slowing down his offense and possibly trying to keep the score close. But the problem is, who's going to be able to score and take him down? That's the problem, and that I don't know if anyone is. If anybody, I think it's probably going to be Kirk Vliet. I think he's got the best chance. I know there's that Wyatt Hendrickson at heavyweight. He's also undefeated, but we'll see what can happen. Let's see the game plan and what people have constructed for that. My favorite weight classes, let's go into that. I really like 141, guys. I think 41 is really the deepest weight. I think 25 and 33 are kind of the first time in a while you haven't seen, the depth as much as at the lighter weight. So, 25, I think Spencer Lee kind of ran it for a while. And then this is really the first or second year without that, where now it's, new faces. Richie Figueroa won it last year, and he's not even the 1 seed here. So this is the first time we're going to see a little bit of mix-up of things. 33 is kind of in the same boat, with, I think, ever since really 2016 or 17 when, me included, wrestling in the weight class. You had myself, you had Seth Gross, Roman Bravo Young, Dayton Fix, DeSanto, Suriano, Vito Ruggio. The list goes on, but guys that were going on and doing things on the freestyle circuit and past. So we'll see how 33 pans out and if anyone can rise from that group. But in my opinion, 41 is really where the deep, the heavy hitters, there's multiple of them, and it can happen. You've got 2 national champs. You got Jesse Mendez from last year, Ohio State, and the year before, Andrew Alirez from Northern Colorado. In the mix, you got Bo Bartlett as well, just beating Jesse twice at Big Tens and in the dual meet. And then neither of them won, though. They got Brock Hardy at the 1 seed from Nebraska, and he's going to have to wrestle Andrew Lears in the quarters, which is going to be insane. And then you throw some guys in like Sergio Lemley, who's a dark horse. You can come in and, he's going to have to wrestle Jesse, Region Wrestling teammates, training partners since growing up. They're going to have to wrestle in the quarters. I think overall that's a crazy, crazy weight class where that's the one where you're watching every quarterfinals and every semifinals because that's the weight to watch, or one of the weights to watch is 141. Another weight I really, really like is 174. I really think that's a great weight class because of the depth. You've got Keegan O'Toole as the 1 seed. You also have Levi Haynes from Penn State, Dean Hamidi from Oklahoma State, who's looked incredible for Oklahoma State, ever since making that transfer to wrestle with the Cowboys and David Taylor. That weight I think could be really, really difficult. I think Keegan is probably the most, conditioned to win, but obviously Levi Haynes is a returning national champion as well, and Penn State always peaks their guys right, so we're going to have to see about that. I don't know, Hamidi could also be, he's going to throw a wrench in everybody's plans, and he's coming for the NCAA title as well. Another interesting weight will be 97. You've got, AJ Ferrari's in it, and he's the 3 seed. Michigan boy, Jacob Cardenas, he's the 1 seed. He won the Big Tens over Cannon from Iowa, and I think, that's going to be an interesting weight class that I'm going to be watching those matches up at. So those are some interesting ones. I also like 149 with Caleb Henson in there, and also with Shane Van Ness as well. You've got Cannon Webster and Ridge Lovett. I think that's another exciting one is 149. To throw that in there. So those are kind of my favorite weight classes, I think, that I'm going to be watching the most. 41, 49, and 84. I think those are the ones I'm going to be glued to. But obviously everything up to, I'll be watching every weight, but those are the ones that I think I'll have to put out. Now let me know what you guys are going to be your favorite weight classes as well. Let's talk about the team races, all right? Is there anybody who can even stand up to Penn State this year? I don't think so for the title. I think Penn State, from the points they scored at Big Tens, I think you could have cut it in half and they still would have won the Big Ten. So, they're pretty deep throughout the roster. I think, especially if guys like that are overperforming, like Lillidahl is a freshman, he might go win the whole thing at 25. I'm not, you've got him, you've got Big Ten champ at 33. Their whole lineup, is phenomenal. I know I didn't even mention those. Like in the middleweights, you've got Messenbrink, who is the closest thing to a lock, maybe even more of a lock than you could say maybe Starachi, but it's crazy. All the Penn State guys are pretty much capable of winning it, and which they're going to go far into the tournament. I think I don't know who's going to finish top 5 in the mix, but from a team race, I think Oklahoma State is going to come hard for this tournament. I think everybody's ready. I think they've got a fully functioning roster. I think Cameron Amin's going to do really well from, coming from Michigan and coming in Oklahoma State. It's his last rodeo here. And you've got, a whole lineup of guys that have just performed so well. Hamidi, Hendrickson, I think the 141 pounder as well has been, he just beat Alirez and upset him, that Jameson. So I mean, they've got a full team of guys that are also going to go deep. Nebraska as well. I really like what Nebraska's been doing, developing their team over the couple years. I mean, I never heard of a lot of those guys that are going in to the nationals. Going in and making waves, making Big Ten finals, winning the Big Tens. Such as Brock Hardy, Van D, the 125 pounder. A lot of these guys I never heard of until maybe last year, because they have developed. They weren't the biggest names in high school, and they came in and developed. And I think Nebraska's doing an awesome job of that. Nebraska's probably going to finish top 5. I think Northern Iowa is going to have an amazing tournament as well, a small school that'll do well. I also think Little Rock as well. They've got Nasir Bailey and Jordan Williams, who are just lighting it up right right now at Little Rock. You know, they're going to contend for a title. You know, those are two small schools that are doing awesome. University of Illinois as well are doing awesome. UNC, awesome. I mean, there's a lot of programs that are going to do well that aren't in the Big Ten Conference that are going to push the envelope here. You know, it's going to be an awesome thing. I'm not really sure, like I said, the full top 5 picks, but I think Penn State's going to come out one, and we're going to see a good mix. And I think the other conferences are hopefully can raise and level a little bit here and show out. You know, NC State always does a good job as well. So we're going to see. Let me know what you guys think about individual races. What are your favorite matchups? Who your favorite weight classes are? Who's the lock? Is Carter going to win his 5th? And anything on the team races, who you guys are rooting for, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys, and I'll be watching the NCAAs. I'm probably going to do a live stream, so stay tuned for that. World champs and everything we do, baby. We out.